This is chapter 28 of Touching Spirit Bear. As summer came to the North Country, group visits to the pond had become a daily event, until the day Peter announced, "This morning just Cole and I should go." Garvey had already pulled on his pants. "Are you sure?" he asked. Peter nodded. Garvey turned to Cole. "What do you think?" Cole eyed Peter and shrugged. "Doesn't matter to me." Again, Garvey asked, "Are you guys sure you're ready for this?" "Yes," Peter said, his voice firm. Cole nodded but found himself a little scared. "Okay, have a good soak," Garvey said. Cole packed their towels in his backpack. He paused and slipped in the towel. He and Peter let themselves out the door into the breaking dawn and worked their way along the shore. Neither of them spoke as they reached the river and started wading upstream toward the pond. Peter stumbled along angrily, his fists clenched. An awkward and thick silence hung between them. When they finally reached the pond, Cole couldn't stand the silence anymore. "I'm glad we came alone," he said. "It's time we were friends." He held out his hand to Peter, but Peter knocked his hand away. "I'll never be friends with you." "Look, Peter, I didn't mean to hurt you." Peter shoved Cole, knocking him off balance. "You beat me up and smashed my head on the sidewalk until I was bleeding. They had to pull you off me. What do you mean you didn't mean to hurt me?" His eyes were wild. Cole had regained his balance. "What I mean is, I didn't mean to get so angry. I didn't decide all of a sudden to get mad and hurt you." "And so now everything is supposed to be all right?" Peter shoved Cole again with both hands. "No, it's just that everything will be better when my headaches go away, when I sleep at night, and my bad dreams quit." Peter's eyes welled up with tears. "I can't walk anymore without stumbling. Sometimes I can't even think straight, and my words won't come out right." He shook a fist in Cole's face. "You don't really care about me. You just want to get off this island. That's all you want." "A year ago that was true," Cole said, "but not anymore." "You haven't changed," Peter challenged, his voice growing louder. "You'd beat me up again if you had the chance." Cole shook his head. "I could beat you up right now, but I won't." "You won't? Because you're scared of Garvey," Peter said, "and because you're scared of jail." Again, Cole shook his head. "It's because I've had a lot of time to think. And besides, if you thought I might beat you up again, why did you tell Garvey you wanted to come alone with me this morning?" Peter bent down, pretending to tie his boot. "You have to believe me," Cole pleaded. "I'll do anything to help you make things right. It doesn't do any good to stay mad." Suddenly Peter sprang up, shoving Cole hard and sending him stumbling to the ground. "Stay away from me. I don't need your help," he screamed. "I'm so sorry," Cole repeated. "You're not sorry for anything," Peter shouted. He kicked at the ground, pelting Cole with gravel and dirt. Shielding his face, Cole got to his feet, but Peter stormed forward and shoved him again. "Why don't you beat me up again? I don't care anymore." Cole quietly stood his ground. "Maybe you're scared of me," Peter said, swinging his fist. He struck Cole squarely in the face. "Go ahead, hit me," he taunted. "Kill me. I don't care anymore." So what Peter's trying to do is he's trying to antagonize Cole into having Cole beat him up again, because Peter's kind of at the point where he's like, if Cole just finishes me off, I'll be out of my misery. And Cole is trying to hold back and not hit him because he doesn't want to hurt him, because he truly does want to help Peter. But he's in this moment and it's kind of scary right now. "You do care," Cole said, shielding his face. "I'm not ever going to hurt you again. Can't you see that?" "Liar!" shouted Peter. He hit Cole hard in the gut. "You're scared of me." When Cole refused to fight back, Peter grew bolder. Again and again he struck Cole with his bare fists. Cole raised his arms to try to ward off the blows, but he didn't fight back, nor did he run. This only made Peter angrier. He hit harder. As the blows pummeled him, Cole's own anger smoldered. He grabbed deep breaths. He would not get angry. Not now. As he tried to back away, he stumbled and fell. Peter was on him instantly, hitting and yelling. All Cole could do was curl his knees up to his chest and try to cover his face. Then Peter started kicking him. To Cole it felt as if a sledgehammer was striking his chest and arms. He rolled away, but the next kick caught him in the face and slammed his head back. He tasted blood. The world spun in lazy circles. The hammer kept hitting. "Stop," Cole gasped. "Please stop." "Then fight, you coward," Peter screamed like a madman. I'm not going to fight you, Cole shouted as the next angry kick to his stomach took his breath away. Then the kicking stopped. Cole opened his eyes in time to see Peter sink to his knees next to him, crying. Peter's body shook with great hiccuping sobs. Are you okay? Cole asked, grimacing from his pain. I'm scared, cried Peter. I'm so scared. My thinking gets all mixed up, and I feel like the whole world is falling on me. Wincing, Cole sat up. How can I make you believe that you don't ever have to be scared of me again? You just say that, Peter sobbed. Peter, I'm not a bad person. I got mad at you because I was really mad at myself. I thought my dad beat me because I was worthless. Cole paused. The dances, carving the totem, carrying the ancestor rock, touching the spirit bear, it was all the same thing. It was finding out who I really was. You're a jerk, Peter sobbed. That's what you are. Cole fought back his own tears. I'm part of some big circle that I don't understand. And so are you. Life, death, good and bad, everything is part of that circle. When I hurt you, I hurt myself, too. I don't think I'll ever heal from what I did to you, but I'm sorry, Peter. I really am sorry. Peter knelt, crying, his body bent forward. Cole, not knowing what else to do, wrapped his arms around Peter's shoulders. For a long time, Peter let himself be hugged, leaning back into Cole. And that was when it appeared, not 20 feet away. It stood watching them, the spirit bear. Look, Cole whispered, letting go of Peter. Peter still sniffled, staring down at the ground. Look, Cole whispered louder, nudging him. It's the spirit bear. Peter raised his head and stared, his mouth open in amazement. Will it hurt us? He whispered. No, Cole whispered back. We're not threatening it. You and I have both become invisible. Peter looked at Cole, puzzled. Never mind, I'll explain later, Cole whispered. For a full minute, the bear stood in place, gazing at them. The chattering of a squirrel nearby echoed like thunder in the silence. Then, as suddenly as it had appeared, the spirit bear swung its massive head around and ambled away, vanishing ghost-like into the trees. Peter drew in a deep breath as if waking from a long sleep. Did we really see what I think we just saw? Cole smiled and shrugged. They say there aren't any spirit bears here. But I saw one, Peter insisted. Won't anyone believe us? Doesn't matter what other people think or believe, Cole said. It's what you believe. That's what's important. That morning, as Cole and Peter soaked, a warm silence blanketed the pond. Afterward, they found a second ancestor rock so both could roll their anger down the slope. When they headed back to camp, Cole's face was swollen, and he hugged at his sore ribs with an elbow. Are you okay? Peter asked. Cole looked at his numb and swollen lips and grimaced. Still, he smiled. I hate to go through that again. Peter walked without speaking. When they arrived back in camp, Cole broke the silence. Standing beside the totems, he explained to Peter that being invisible was being part of life's circle and accepting it. This morning, when we forgave each other, we also forgave ourselves, he said. We allowed ourselves to become a part of the big circle. That's why we saw the spirit bear. What makes you think I forgave you? Peter said. Cole pulled off the backpack. I have something I want to give you, he said. He took out the folded towel. Garvey gave this to me as a symbol of friendship and to show he trusted me. He handed the towel to Peter. Now I want you to have it. Are you saying you trust me? Peter asked. Cole nodded. I hope someday you'll trust me. Peter stared at the towel as he spoke. I want to help you carve the blank space on your totem, the space you saved for your dance of anger. Cole hesitated. Okay. He ran to the cabin and returned with the knives. For the next 2 hours, Cole and Peter carved together. When they finished, Cole hollered for Garvey to come from the cabin and take a look at the nearly perfect circle that now completed the totem. When Garvey joined the boys, he stared down at the log and at what they had carved. You carved a perfect circle, he said, a soft smile tugging at his lips. Why a circle? Cole and Peter glanced nervously at each other, neither wanting to speak. Could it be because every part of the circle is both the beginning and an end? Garvey asked. And everything is one? Peter shrugged awkwardly and grinned at Cole. A circle is all I could teach him to carve. Cole smiled and nodded. I'm a slow learner, but I'm working on it.